Hello and welcome to Sport Tonight. I'm Cecilia Mogbe, right here in Lagos Studios. Austin Okonankman, well, he's on his way. He'll join me later on the show from London. Now, this is what the show looks like tonight. We will be dwelling on the African Senior Athletics Championships taking place in Accra, Ghana, precisely University of Accra. That's where Team Nigeria, 45 athletes, will be participating, led by, well, Tobiloba Amuson. So she's back in the squad. And, of course, all of the top stars will be there in Ghana for the African Senior Championship. Remember the last time Nigeria finished third when it was hosted in Douala in Cameroon. Also on the show, yes, we'll be talking about the NNL. We have new champions talking about the Nigerian National League, Sporting Lagos, the winners of this season's Super 4. And so, you know, the 4 teams already in the top flight. I will be playing in top flight next season. We'll be dwelling on that and also talk about the NPFL. Well, match day 37. Interestingly, the release coming from the Nigeria Premier Football League is the fact that all the games, all the remaining games, match day 37 and 38 will be played at the same time, 4 p.m. on Sundays. So this week games, all the games will be played 4 p.m. And of course, all of them will be on games. And of course, the interesting ones you need to focus on this weekend. And the Premier League also, yes, we will not leave that simply because, well, Chelsea, Liverpool will be in action. Liverpool, of course, trying to see if they can get into the Champions League next season. For Chelsea, 9th on the log. Is this still a possibility? Well, after the game against Liverpool, we will know what will happen if Chelsea are already out of the race for the Champions League for next season. Just one spot left because United, Arsenal, and Man City already collected the top 3. And, of course, the league decider is still on. Arsenal in the driving seat. We'll be taking a look at the match day for EPL this weekend. And of course, the story coming from Real Madrid, El Clasico is this weekend, but it's all about Chouameni and of course Federico Valverde. These 2 players, the bus stop at the Madrid training ground, we'll be talking about that. Both players have been fined 500,000 euros each. So that's the money they will be paying for that bus stop they had at the training ground. We'll talk more about that on the show tonight. Yes, so much to talk about. It's football and track and field. And of course, let's get it rolling. Is Austin ready to join? Not yet, but we have another guest that will be joining me. Bimbo Adela, veteran sports broadcaster. He's joining me on the show tonight. Bimbo, it's great to have you join me. Before Austin will come in, when is he coming in? Well, I don't know. Bimbo, it's great to have you join me on the show tonight.
Yeah, good evening, Cecilia. Always a pleasure to be on Channel Sport. And of course, a lot of activities involving Nigerian sportsmen and women from Ghana to England, everywhere in the world. And we just can't wait for the activities to get to a feverish pitch. And of course, we can't wait. We are not going to the World Cup, but of course, we've got some other things to busy ourselves with. And that's good. And of course, on the home front, like you said, my darling Rangers International of Enugu are topping the Nigeria Premier Football League. And of course, we expect Rangers to win. I told us Nokonakpan the last time that I should watch out for my Rangers. And now, Rangers are on the verge of winning again, Austin.
Rangers' last home game is in Lagos. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good way to bring me into the show. Sporting greetings to you, yeah, Bimbo, and of course, our diverse audience watching us from all over the world. It's always an action-packed all the sports. Bimbo Adiola, you've been in this business so long to know that it's not over until it is over. But it's looking good for Rangers. They need to sustain their momentum. They need to ensure that they don't drop points or lose any game. And maybe, yeah, your wish will just come through. You know, so much going on, even in the English Premier League. There's so much expectations. Cecilia, I mentioned Chelsea. You know, they need to find a way to really get into the conversation again. But right here, local media is buzzing. They're happy that we have an English team in the final of the UEFA Champions League, Europa League, and the Conference League. You know, so they believe that English football is getting to that place where they think it should be. You know, yeah. Let's see what they can do. I'm also excited that we've got athletics on the lineup. A strong 45 team contingent. You know, Nigeria now, Cecilia. You're confident that they can get us talking?
Definitely. From what they did at the World Relays in Botswana, where the coach actually said qualifying for the World Championships coming up in PNG, China, and also the athletics, the World Athletics Ultimate Championship also coming up in Budapest. We have one ticket there and 3 to the World Relays. He says qualification is as good as gold. So let's see if we can turn that to gold medals in Accra, Ghana. But I think they can actually do that because the strong contingent that we have, you know, those athletes who couldn't make it to Botswana, most of them are actually here. And that's the reason why we're actually, you know, having this confidence that yes, the last time Nigeria finished failed, but this time around, that's something the athletes are doing, where you have a full complement of athletes from home. Because at the moment, to get all the NCAA players down here is becoming more difficult because the schools that, you know, that they're in, they're running every weekend. Every meet that comes up, they're running. And so it's always hard to get these athletes here. So this delegation comprises of 25 women and 20 men across track and field events. So you have the regular names that are here, and of course some of them are missing. But the big story is the fact that you're going to be having Rosemary Chukwuma and Tobiloba Amuso. Now let's start off with the women. For the 100 meters and 4x100 meters relay for the women. Rosemary Chukwuma couldn't make it to Botswana, but right here she will be in Accra, Ghana. Miracle Ezechukwu, one of the home-based players, just discovered early making of champions, courtesy just that championship that finished last time. Maria Thompson Omeko, also another home-based. Tejire Ugo, so all these players, she's the only foreign-based athlete. For 200 meters, Jennifer Obi Chukwuma and Rosemary Wanko, these players based at home. Now let's flip over to the 400 meters and 4x400 meters women, the relay team. Patience Oko George, she anchored Nigeria to that mixed relay that Nigeria qualified for the World Championship. Treasure Kereke, Siviana Osai, Esther Okon Peter, she was also there, and Jimo Toiba. These young stars were all there in Botswana. Comfort Aniete James, she's also 800 meters, 1,500 meters, and steeplechase. You are just one player, one athlete here, Aderonke Akombi. That's the only athletes that is taking part in those two events. Tobiloba Amuso, as usual, the 100 meters hurdles, the Adobe Tabugo, also 100 meters hurdle, and Janet Sunday completes the 3 athletes that will be competing in the hurdles for Nigeria. So, yeah, something is sure there. High jump, Clergy Edet, Treasure Omosiwe, and long jump, we have Ruth Osoro and Favor Olise are the athletes that are here for the long jump. And of course, let's go to javelin. Victoria Okmarika for shot put, Divine Oladipupo and Jessica Orji for discus. Yao Begeri Amechi, she's always there when we're having this discus show. I hope we can have more athletes here in this particular discipline. So let's go straight to the men, if that is ready. Okay, now for the men, Favor Ashe back competing for Nigeria. He says he never intends to leave Nigeria for any other country. Enoch Adegoke, he was injured in Botswana. He couldn't run, but he's right here for the 100 meters and 4x100 meters relay. Chidera is there, called Tejiri Godwin. Then go to 200 meters here, Badmus Gafari, James Taiwo Emmanuel, and Ushorishe Ishekiri. He's also part of the 200 meters for the men. He was not there in Botswana. Emmanuel Ifeanyi Ojele, of course, these athletes, Samson Natane, Ezekiel Sukwo, and Victor Samson Ime, all these athletes were there right there in Botswana. Chidi Okeze and Sikiru Adeyemi. So just the squad fully and complete. Now let's move over to 110 meters hurdle for the men. Just one athlete, Nnamdi Owanze, and for decathlon, Jami Shotler. And let's go to 1,500 meters and 5,000 meters. You have James Gang, just one athlete. Also for long jump, you have Romeo Ben, and that's the only athlete here for long jump for the men. Now shot put, the regular Chukwuebuka Enekweche and Emmanuel Audu, and for javelin, you have Adams Samuel Kure. So these are the athletes, 45 strong athletes contingent for Accra, Ghana. That's the African Senior Athletics Championships. We're running starting on Tuesday on the 12th, and it will end on the 17th. Now, Bimbo, let me come to you. Reel out the names, all the names, you know, that will be taking part in this championship. Yes, Botswana, they wanted gold medals. Well, it didn't happen, but the funniest thing about that gold is that you have a little bit of raw diamond, yeah, in all the medals. Nigeria couldn't win one. But in Accra, Ghana, the African Senior Championships, no, of course, is only for African athletes, African countries participating in this one. How many medals are we short? Do we have some of these athletes that you think, well, we're going to get something out?
Well, I'll tell you, this is a dress rehearsal for the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow. And I'm very sure that the Ash, the Tobiloba, Nechekwe, and all of them are ready to compete and conquer Africa. I'm not going to be talking about the number of medals we're going to be winning. That's gold medal, the chief of the medals. I'll be talking about how these athletes will brace themselves up, especially the ones from home. We're not talking about the ones from America or from everywhere else in the world. The ones from home is an opportunity to showcase their talents, an opportunity to stand and be counted. It's an opportunity to show Nigerians and Nigeria that they are able to do well. So once they do well in Ghana, the sky will be their start point. And I'm very, very sure that they will always represent Nigeria very well in all competitions. So in Ghana, I'm expecting our athletes to come out smoking, to show everyone that we're not just ready for Africa, we are ready for the Commonwealth Games, and we will do the country proud. Team Nigeria should be on the rise again in Ghana. The last time we were third, and we've got the opportunity right now to better what we did, or the last achievement we had at the Senior Athletics Championship out there in Ghana. So we wish them all the very best, and we know that these athletes, anytime they are wearing the green and white colors of Nigeria, they are another beasts entirely, and we wish them very well out there in Ghana.
Yeah, all the best for them, Austin. Yeah, what are the athletes saying?
Yeah, you know, I like the team spirit. I like the fact that they're looking forward to competing, you know, for the motherland. And the pictures that we saw, you can see them. They're already giving us some dancing steps. You know, means they're already celebrating before even competing. You know, I like it so much. We've always said that talent's not a problem for us. It's how to harness it. You know, and make sure that administrators do their beats. You know, when you were going through the names, I was like, okay, there are some new names here now that we can look forward to, you know. And as Bimbo said, it's time for us to start looking inwards. For instance, if you talk about men's shot put in the last 7 years, it's only Chukwuebuka Inekwenche that comes to mind. But now there's Emmanuel Audu that we can look forward to see if he can really get us talking, you know. For the women's discus, I was like, what's going on? Why is Chioma Onyekwere not on that list, you know, because it was only Obiageri that I saw there. But this is a strong team, and I hope that they will go out there. No pressure from me, because I know that it is only when competition is coming that we are coming down, come and be talking. What have we been doing before now that we are to compete? And that's what Chidi Okeze is saying, Celia. He's saying that we must have a proper program so that we will know that this is what our team is doing before they go compete at a big stage. Let's listen to Chidi Okeze on the show tonight.
I'll say a proper high-performance center. Okay. Just somewhere where the athletes can camp and be based. Like, a lot of times we were talking, and I'll talk to other countries just to see, like, what does your camping situation look like? How long are you camping in certain places? And most times they're there for months and more than 6 weeks at a time. And training-wise, 6 weeks is like a training block. So having coaches there to create programs for these kids, not just a world relay is coming up, so we're camped for a week or 2 weeks, because sometimes that throw off the system that their coach back at home has. Or if let's say Nigeria, MOC, or all these people combine all their talents and just have a big camp where everybody in Nigeria is in one place, like all the coaches is in one place. One of my theories is if they just let go of the egos and just say, we're doing this for the bigger picture. A lot of times people just like, oh, I coach this athlete, and I coach this athlete, I coach this athlete. So when all the athletes come together, all the coaches want to do different things. And then when they get to the major stage like this, then most times those coaches back at home are not there. So a lot of times the athlete is nervous because like, oh no, my coach told me I should do this or I should do that. But if they're all at the same place and they all know the same program, and it's like a unity, at the end of the day, it's Nigeria that will be successful. They will not remember which coach coached who or which person was the person, because there's a lot of talented coaches in Nigeria that I've seen and I've talked to, but most times they're not at the big stage. So I believe if they're all in the same place and they all could, I say, share information and just learn from each other, I think Nigeria will do great things.
Yeah, absolutely. Bimbo Adiola, look, he said the things that I talked about. You know, I was waiting for one word: system. He said there should be a system. So if you like, put them with their foreign coaches for 1 year. When they're coming to compete for Nigeria, there should be a system. He mentioned unity of purpose. And that's what having a program can do. I'm sure you agree with everything he talks about.
That's right. Before you can say you are achieving in sports on whatever you dream as a human, there must be a program, there must be set objectives, what you will do before a tournament, and we're not talking about 6 weeks or 6 months to a tournament, because this thing is like a rolling project that you're doing. We've got a tournament in the next 1 year or 2 years. We start preparing at the end of our tournament before then. And that's how it's done. And the program is drawn. And like the athletes said, it's not about my coach, Austin's coach, Cecilia's coach. No, it's about Nigeria. So once they bring a program to the national athletics coach of Nigeria, what does he do? He fuses it into his own dream. And of course, we have a whole bunch that we now use for our athletes in Nigeria. That's the problem. We have the talents everywhere in the country. The problem is to harness them. The problem is to have a solid program. The problem is to put these athletes to use. And how do you use them? By organizing tournaments, by making sure they are busy. And that's why when we're in school, that's why we have continuous assessments in school. That's why we have tests in school before the real examination. So you are tested very well. You master whatever you're doing before you now go out there to compete with other people who are as good, if not better than you in the races. But then, what do? This is the same thing we say all the time. We always scream it, and we are turned to be noisemakers. We are called names. We are told we never believe, we never see anything good about
it. You want to pull down the federation and all that.
We see what is happening in other countries. We see what they do. Tiny Jamaica, tiny Bahamas, tiny Trinidad and Tobago. These are island countries. And
Botswana.
Come to Botswana. I was telling my wife over the weekend, we're watching the world relays in Botswana. For heaven's sake, the world relays, the world champions, the best athletes in the world are converging on Botswana, not in Nigeria. That's what we're talking about. Why? Because a superstar has emerged from Botswana, and the entire world is interested in that country right now. How did it happen? Because there was a plan on paper. And of course, the plan was brought to the tracks. And right now, the entire world is seeing Botswana, is watching Botswana, and Botswana is the better for it right now. So Nigeria should take a cue from all these countries who are doing very well. It's not just about saying we're the giants of Africa, a giant that cannot kill a termite. Tell me the kind of giant that is. So we need really to put our hearts together. We need a program. We need proper planning. We've got the men and women that will always be there. That's why at times when some things happen to our athletes, we look across or beyond the athletes to hit the administrators, to hit the government, because if they're doing the right thing, these athletes will perform. Right. Nigerian sportsmen and women love Nigeria much more than most people who are ruling the country. So for heaven's sake, motivate them, give them all the need to perform, and you see these athletes performing. I recall what Sunday Oliseh told me. Let me just deviate to football a while. I remember one interview Sunday Oliseh granted me about 20 years ago when I asked him, 1996 Atlanta Olympics, the motivation. He said after Bonfredo was done with everything, his team talk and everything, they gathered together, Taribo, Okocha, Uche, and told them, now our country be this one. If anything happens to us, now our name, guys, let's go there. Against Brazil, they did it. Against Argentina, that's what we're talking about. Right. So we've got the talent, we've got the guys who are ready to die on the pitch. But are you going to be dying for people who don't appreciate you? That's $1 million question.
Yeah, it is. Let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll be listening to Favour Ashe, the man who returned timely. He ran two lead legs for 4 by 100 meters relay, the missed, and also the men leading Nigeria to qualifications for the World Championship. When we return from this break, we will listen to him.
First of all, I want to make it out there, I didn't post anything I'm switching. I didn't officially made a statement about switching to Qatar. I did not do that. These pages just making story about that, posting stuff. But I did not officially say I'm switching to Qatar. And yes, I'm back to Nigeria on the national team because Nigeria is my country. Mm-hmm. And even though there's a little bit of stuff but I believe Nigeria will be better in a couple years. So yeah, I'm back. But also, all this country, from my view, why can't they should use the money to focus on their own athlete to make them better, make them better, invest that money on local athletes of Turkey or Qatar or going to the Africa Championship. I've run just one race this season, which wasn't that good, but not because I'm not in shape, but because it's been long I ran. I need more races. So doing this really has given me more confidence. I can say I'm in a good position. So I'm going back home to Lagos, rest a little bit, back to training, some easy training, not hard, and then Africa Championship. I want to win the gold in Africa Championship. I'm going for the gold in Africa Championship. Yep, the gold. I'm promising Channel TV, Nigeria. I'm going for the gold in Africa Championship. Okay, if something happen, right? First third, gold, silver, bronze, but I want the gold. But if something the weather is bad, right? Sometimes it's raining, I might just take second and third. You know what I mean? Yeah. But the gold.
Yes, the good, right? That's what Favour Ashe is going for. I believe Nigerians have actually missed this boy. Very entertaining when he's doing his interviews. Right, let's leave athletics and track and field for now because I think if we continue, we will not leave here. So let's quickly go to the National League. Yes, that's where we are going to at the moment. Yes, the National League. What happened before the National League? Yeah, okay, we'll look at the NPFL. I know Bimbo is champion on the beat to talk about this one. Rangers, their last final home game is actually in Lagos, Ikorodu City. We'll see what's going to happen in that one. So I'll run through all the fixtures. As I mentioned earlier, all the fixtures will happen on Saturday. On Sunday, that's match day 37. So you have Abia Warriors and Kun Khalifat, Economic Warriors and Niger Tornadoes, Rangers and Bender Insurance. Now, this is where the fight is. You have Caterpillars and Warri Wolves, Katsina United and Ikorodu City, Kwara United and Eyimba, what should be in action. Eyimba may just have to build on what they did against Remo Stars, that 2-1 victory. So these are the games will continue. Nasarawa United and Plateau United also be in action. Remo Stars will welcome Bayelsa United, Shooting Stars and Bara FC, Wike Tourists and Rivers United. Now, Rivers will need to do a lot to get this one away from home. Their home form this season hasn't been great at all, especially after they crashed out from the continent. So if it's just for this weekend, Bimbo, I'm going to start off with you here. Yeah, because we know that Rangers, I know that's where you're going to go, right? What are their chances against Better Insurance, really?
I'll tell you this age-long rivalry between Rangers International and Better Insurance from the 1978 Challenge Cup final, where Rangers were beating 3-0. And I doubt if a true Rangers fan will forgive Better Insurance for a very, very long time. But I'll take this. Sunday is very crucial for both Rangers and Rivers United. If Rangers wins Bendel Insurance and Nnamdi Azikiwe Stadium, that we are rechristened the Cathedral, and Rivers should lose in Bauchi to Wike Tourists, Rangers are winners of the Nigeria Premier Football League season. That's the truth. But if both teams win, that means it goes down the wire, and of course the winner will emerge, and the winner will emerge
on the final match day.
So it's very, very dicey. And I just love this season. It's even more interesting than the English Premier League because these guys are neck to neck. How many points separating the first, the second, the third, and the fourth? Look at this. Rangers first, Rivers second, Ikorodu third, Shooting fourth. This is wonderful. This is the kind of finale that we want to see in Nigerian football, and not what we're witnessing before now. And it shows indeed that the NPFL is improving. The organizers of the league are doing all they can to at least make Nigerians appreciate whatever is happening in the home front. So for my Rangers, it's time to win again. And Cecilia, I hope you're counting. You're going to beat your Bendel Insurance. And Austin, I told you weeks before now that it's going to be Rangers to lose. So we are ready.
Okay, Bimbo. Okay, but let's wait. I think what did it for Rangers was match day 36 when they defeated Bayelsa United. That was the real move for Rangers. And Rivers United, doing their own part but going to win. But that away win, actually kept Rangers in a good place. But let's see. It's tight, Bendel Insurance. And you just talked about the rivalry that they share. And this is what we love about the Nigeria Premier Football League. When perspectives gets wider on match days, so Bendel Insurance now, they are also looking at the league table and they say, if we can go and beat these people at the cathedral, this cathedral that small teams used to go to, last season people has forgotten already. And then they just go there and then they defile the cathedral. They can believe, because if they beat Rangers, then top 4 finish looks good for Bendel Insurance. And that's what puts meaning into this match, the 37 fixture. Shooting Stars also will be under a bit of pressure because they will host Barra and they have to win that game also. So I agree that it is really tight. That's what makes the NPFL the league that it is. But we'll see. The team that wants it most will definitely take it. But Rivers United also need to show that they can make us wait till the final day. I love it when it goes down the wire, Cecilia. But hey, this is football where anything can happen. But for me, give us something to talk about.
Yeah, that's what we want. I love the drama, really. So I'm waiting for the final day. As Bimbo mentioned, should anything happen, for instance, you have both Rangers and, of course, Rivers winning. So it's going to go down to the final one. And I can't wait to watch Rangers actually coming to Lagos. I know, Bimbo, you want to go see them against Ikorodu City. 2 final games. Bendel Insurance, a tough one for them. Ikorodu City, another tough one for them. Right, let's go quickly to the Super 4, the Nigeria National League, where we have champions and Ikorodu City. Sporting Lagos are the champions. Let's take a look at the match day, the final match day 3. Domo United, well, I think they just came to complete the numbers. They lost 3-0 to Ranchers B, and they have Inter Lagos beating Sporting Lagos. That's the only loss of all the games that they played, lost by a lone goal. But then on goal difference, that's how they were able to emerge the champions of the National League. It was exciting. I mean, I saw pictures of the fans, the crowd, the entertainment, and obviously the trophy that was handed over to the champions, talking about Sporting Lagos. Bimbo, I know you monitored the National League all through. What was the thing that actually excited you more about all these teams? These teams are all privately owned clubs, and they are coming into the NPFL next season.
Watch out, government-owned clubs in Nigeria. Gradually, Nigeria is moving ahead of other countries in the southwest, in the west coast of Africa. Gradually, individuals, private interests are buying into Nigerian football, and it's going to be for the good of the game. Just check out where the games were played. It's a private stadium owned by Remo Stars. Thank God for Kunle Shoname, Honorable Kunle Shoname, for what he has given us in the Remo district of Ijebu area of Ogun State. Thank God for Inter Lagos, for Sporting Lagos, for Doma, for Ranchers Base, all 4 in the Super 4 of the NLL, owned privately. And just get this, Inter Lagos and Sporting will be campaigning next season in the Nigeria Premier League. They will be joining the likes of Remo Stars and others. Before you know it, we'll be having more than half, not now, but in the nearest future, we'll be having more than half of the clubs in the NPFL privately owned. And that's what we're talking about. That's what business in football. And it's not just about government patronage, it's not about clubs being used as PR tools for the state governments. No, these players will earn well, As time goes on, these clubs will own their stadiums. As time goes on, we'll see real professionalism in the local league in Nigeria, and that's what has been lacking for several decades. And right now, the young ones are waking up to their responsibilities. Just imagine Sadiq Umar is a co-owner of Ranchers Bees. Sadiq Umar is a professional footballer in Nigerian International in the Spanish La Liga. Just check out some other guys who are doing IT businesses and others investing into football. That's what we've been talking about. Just look at Matchday Hospitality, Sporting Lagos, Inter Lagos, and others. What we don't see with the government teams, the government clubs, we are seeing right now. We'll be seeing balance sheets being flipped at the end of the season, unlike what we see with the government-owned teams. So everything will become professionalized, and of course, we'll now be seeing new players, good players emerging from our league. And at the end of the day, on the continent of Africa, we'll see good representation in club competitions. This is good for us. All for privately owned, we need more. Next season, from next season, the NPFL. That's what we need.
Yeah, Bimbo, I also like the fact that we have these private, clubs coming into the league. But then again, administration is very important so that they don't frustrate them out of the business, because they understand that they're not just coming to compete for one trophy. They are doing business. You know the story of Kun Khalifat, how the guy was begging right from when they qualified from the NNL that, oh, please, somebody buy my slots, because of the financial capacity that is lacking. How about the problem of highest bidder? Terrible officiating. Those are the things we need to change. When we say create an enabling environment to make football a business in the country, that's what we're talking about. And I hope that, yes, with the coming of these 4 teams plus Korodu City, Remo Stars, we'll begin to open that football business environment, in Nigeria that we're long for. Let's move on with the show now. I'll talk about the Prosperity Cup. Yes, winners have emerged in the 8th edition. That is grassroots football at its best in Bayelsa State. I'll let you know that Akima Biogbo FC of Agboloma in Yanagwa local government area, they lost in the final match to Okoroma United from Okoroma in Nembe local government area of Bayelsa State. We celebrate this because we like the fact that it is good for football development in the country when communities come together. Over 250 teams competing in the 2026 Prosperity Cup. In the women's category, defending champions are Fini Ladies. They did the job. They lost 1-0 actually to Active Ladies in the final match. When we get pictures from that one, Cecilia, we will elaborate on it next week on the show.
Yeah, that's how it ended, the final day for Prosperity Cup 2026. Right, let's leave that and, of course, go to the English Premier League. We're starting off with the fixtures for Saturday, and we'll also be looking at the fixtures for Sunday. And our focus, obviously, is that big game between Liverpool and Chelsea. Sometimes those games are usually title decider, but right now it's looking like, well, teams are fighting for what? For Champions League sports. Liverpool and Chelsea will start the day for Saturday. Brighton will be hosting Wolves. Fulham against Bournemouth. You have Sunderland and Manchester United. Manchester City, of course, will welcome Brentford. Now, this will be a tricky one because they're chasing Arsenal for the title. Let's go to Sunday's fixtures. Burnley relegated already against Aston Villa, who just, well, are in the final of Europa League. Crystal Palace also final of conference. I mean, they'll be coming with that European swag. They're hosting Everton. You have Nottingham Forest. They are out of the Europa League, of course, beaten by Aston Villa 4-0. They'll be hosting Newcastle United, and West Ham and Arsenal will wrap it up. This is the game that Arteta has actually tagged a very huge game. Huge game. West Ham fighting relegation. Arsenal wants to win the title. Should they win on Sunday, that's it. And should Manchester City drop points, well, the title will be going to the Emirates. But now let's first of all listen to Ancelotti talking about the game against Chelsea, the things he needs to change, the transition they're trying to make at Liverpool, and of course what they need to do to ensure whether they pick all points against Chelsea. Let's listen to Ancelotti talking ahead of the game against Chelsea this weekend.
it's always a difficult game for both teams because there's so much quality on both ends. So yeah, it doesn't matter that much at the moment. I think how much you lost or how much you won. It's a game between a lot of very good individual players, and let's hope we have a very good team performance as well, because that usually helps individuals in being even better. The season has been gone in a way that even if we have 3 wins and 3 very positive results, I don't think everyone will still be positive about how we ended the season, how the season has been. So it's important that we, as I said now so many times, that we get that at least 1 win over the line, which we think is enough to qualify. We're not sure, because 4 points makes it completely clear. And that's what we need to do. And what we are trying, which we've tried the whole season, to do this in the best possible way, performing-wise, which has not always happened, but has always been the aim.
Liverpool started the season winning 5 straight league games, and of course from September they dropped the ball and they didn't recover from that, and that's why they're ending the season without trophy. The only thing they want now, well, Champions League slots for next season.
Can you believe it, Cecilia? Who would have thought that Liverpool would be in this situation? Football is crazy. Bimbo, I don't understand football. It's insane, you know. When you try to understand what's going on, it drives you crazy. Look at Chelsea, you know, with all of the prospects, with everything that, you know, we thought Chelsea could do this season. Look at where they are. So this puts meaning into that game, because Chelsea needs to win to get into that top 6 conversation. Liverpool needs to win to seal Champions League place, you know. So look, these are top teams in England. And you wonder, why are they struggling, Bimbo?
Well, they're not struggling because others are doing their own work very, very well. Look at Bournemouth. Look at what Iraola is doing with Bournemouth. All of a sudden, everyone is scared of Bournemouth. Manchester City will still play Bournemouth. They're in serious trouble if they don't get their acts together in the game against Brentford. But then let's zero it down to Liverpool and Chelsea. Chelsea are also in more trouble right now because they need to play in Europe next season, not with the kind of money that was pumped into the club this season. And Liverpool need to cement their place in the Champions League. Fine, they disappointed most of their fans, even those who are not their fans, with the ragtag way with which the team was playing at some point. Now they got their mojo back, and they want to keep winning and at least cement that place for next season. Yes, they didn't win the league, but then they can play with the big boys next season, and they owe their fans that. For Chelsea fans, sorry, they kept losing and losing and losing in some games that you think, oh, Chelsea will rally back. They lost the game. So let's see what they will do against Liverpool, but it's very, very dicey. They're playing against a team that is resurgent. That's Liverpool, who really are taking every game seriously right now. That's football. Football is crazy. Yeah, that's why we love it. You can't predict it. The unpredictability is what makes football the #1 sport in the world. Don't be shocked. Burnley beating. I wouldn't say. I don't want to say before the
I remember when it was confirmed that Wolverhampton Wanderers were relegated, they just picked from one time and started picking points and stopped becoming potential banana skins to big teams. Yeah, that's football for you. Super Saturday, it's going to be Liverpool versus Chelsea. There's still a lot to play for in that one. Callum McFarlane has also been reacting.
We are as disappointed and as frustrated as they are. I put it down to probably not responding well enough to the early setbacks that we had, and we need to be much better in those moments. It's happened before, and it's something that we will address and try and improve for the upcoming games. The performances haven't been good enough. We're in a really bad run at the moment. The Leeds performance was a glimmer where we thought we could build on that, and we weren't able to do that. But I do see these boys every day, every training session, every meeting in the gym. They're in a good place to go and attack games. We just haven't been able to translate that on the game on Monday. So hopefully we can improve that on Saturday. They're a really good side, got a lot of good players. There's a lot of threats that we have to be aware of. We also have a lot of good players, and we're just focusing on ourselves at the moment and making sure that our performance levels are at a higher level than what they have been.
Yeah, that's it. Chelsea's interim manager, Callum McFarlane, you know, I don't know. It's going to be a very, very difficult one for them, but they need to do just enough to see off Liverpool and gain some relevance on that league table. And Cecilia and Bimbo were here talking about Chelsea. There's a Tottenham hotspot that is swimming in a very deep, storming river. I don't get it, Cecilia.
You know, I was going to talk about Chelsea. There's 6 defeats in a row. They haven't won since early March. And, of course, they were happy when they finally scored a goal, you know, against Nottingham Forest that they lost to on Monday. I mean, that's how bad the clubs can actually get. But for Tottenham, I mean, I've said it in the newsroom that one of the teams I'm actually happy they go on relegation this season will be Tottenham. You don't use 4 coaches for a season and they expect to get a very good result. I mean, you just have to manage it very well. So for Spurs, we need to listen to before we talk about the coach, let's talk about Manchester United, for instance. But there's been this story of Michael Carrick, for instance. He was able to beat Liverpool, he beat Man City, beat Chelsea, even beat Arsenal. I mean, that's what he has done since he became United manager. And now there's still no contract on ground to say he's going to continue for next season. And so he doesn't really know what to say about that. But let's listen to him, and of course you react to what he had to say concerning his contract for United. It seems at the end of the season he may just leave and he'll get another manager for next season. Let's listen to Michael Carrick.
Moving forward, it's come the time of right at the end of the season where I think we finished strong and put ourselves in a good position, you know, and obviously the situation of my role and what it looks like moving forward, I think it's the natural time. It was always spoke about towards the end of the season, if not the end of the season, so nothing's really changed, to be honest. Yeah, we have, but it's a matter of days ago, and we kind of got eyes on finishing the season strongly as well, you know, so I understand the question, I understand the timing of it, but from my point of view, right at this stage, it's just putting the boys in a place to finish the season strongly, and then, as I've said all along, and I'm calm about it, it'll get sorted out when it's going to get sorted out. Some of it's out of my hands, so we'll see what happens.
Bimbo, what do you think? Do you think he needs another contract? Yeah.
That's the magic man. When they thought everything was over for Manchester United, he brought belief back into the squad. Mentally, psychologically, the boys switched everything, and they started winning games both home and away. That is the kind of manager a serious club needs to turn their fortunes around. And I hope the directors of Manchester United are thinking fast. They should hold on to this guy. The players right now are rooting for Michael Carrick, and they must listen to the voice of reason. I know they won't be paying so much more to lock him down, and the continuity will continue because he's given the team belief. He's given the players the opportunity to express themselves. He's given the players the opportunity to showcase their talent and show the world. And of course, those who are supporting them, their fans, that they can do great things, and they are really doing great things. And he's doing great things from the touchline too. I would advise them, they have their plans, but I would advise that they just lock this man down for the next season, let him continue the good things that he's doing with the Red Devils right now.
I love that. Austin, what has De Zerbi been saying? I mean, he's collected how many points from possible 9? 7 from possible 9. Is it the man to actually take them out? What has he been talking about?
I don't believe he's the guy. You know, I've said it over and over again that why did he accept the job? Because even the club fans didn't want him, you know, and he just thought he could be the Messiah. He's got a very difficult game on Monday against Leeds United. He stayed hopeful. Listen.
We can't think in different way. We have to keep this mentality. We must remain humble. We go to play against one of the best team in this moment because in the last 5-6 games they won in against Man United. They draw in Bournemouth playing well. They won at home 2 times, Wolves and Barley, and for that we have a big respect. But the focus is on us, but not because we become arrogant, but because we have the quality. The quality is enough if we play like we know, like we can to win the game for sure.
Austin, you have to unmute. Austin?
Yeah. I was just saying that all the best to Serbi. If they don't beat Leeds United on Monday, then that's it. They should just pack their bags and go. He's talking about the mentality. I don't know which mentality. Bimbo Adeola, thank you so much for your time on the show. It's always a delight to have you join us on Sports Tonight.
Thanks very much, and I know Arsenal fans wish that they destroy West Ham, because if they don't, West Ham wins, trouble. Thanks so much, guys. Have a
problem. We'll see. That's football for you. Thanks so much, Bimbo, for your time. Yeah, that's it. The El Clasico, big match on Sunday. Look, the league will go to Barcelona, but with this one, there's so much to play for. As of January, when the last El Clasico was played, was 106 wins for Real Madrid and 105 to Barcelona with 52 draws. Tells you how competitive the El Clasico can be. That's the show in London. I'm Austin Okonakpa, and in everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.
And I hope by Sunday we'll have more drama, because that's what everybody wants to see. Not within the players fighting the training pitch, but then we have drama on the field of play. They're classical. We can't wait for that to happen. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Cecilia Mogbe. Do have a fantastic weekend.